guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to have some festive fun and make 9 different sustainable Christmas ornaments. Sustainability is really a topic I'm passionate about, and for those of you who are maybe on a budget or just want to decorate in a way that is friendly to our planet, come along and decorate with me today. Happy holidays, friends! It's getting pretty chilly here in Ontario, Canada, below freezing each and every night, and it's really got me in the mood to prepare for Christmas. And this year, as I did with Thanksgiving, I really wanted to focus on sustainable, eco-friendly decorations and ornaments. If you haven't seen that Thanksgiving video, I'll link it below for you. But basically, we're gonna focus on found objects that we can use for our decorating that will keep that stuff from heading to the dump. We're also gonna use a lot of items from nature. Our very first project I am so excited about, so let's get started. Do you celebrate Advent in your home or maybe at church? We do. Basically, for the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas Eve, we light a certain candle each night after supper, and we do a little devotional reading too. Each candle you burn for a week, then add another one to it until on Christmas Eve you have 5 candles lit. So we are using a rustic log for this Advent wreath, so to speak. It's not really a wreath, it's, as you can see, a log. And basically my husband Andrew's helping me out with this. He's starting by pre-drilling 5 holes where I want them on the log. And then he's adding a hole saw, and he told me this is a 1.5-inch hole saw. So whoever is doing this, you'll need to know that. And he just traced a line that's the depth of our candles onto the hole saw so he knows how deep to go. I think this is an excellent way to have a rustic look and use up old firewood from your home. So you just chisel out the inside and you will be left with a hole that is the perfect size for your tea light candle or for a votive. As we're going along here, there's different names for Advent candles for the different ones, but I know them as the candle of preparation, peace, joy, love, and then the Christmas Eve candle is called the Christ candle. So you can see here all our holes. Thank you, Andrew, for your help. And today I'm going to set them on a platter and decorate the whole thing with some greenery.
Riding through the winter night, thinking of my only wish. I don't need a perfect snowman, and I don't need the bells and boughs, but I'll be home for you. I'll be home for you.
And there you go, our family is all ready to celebrate the reason for the season, for Advent this year.
I'll be home for you. Look at all the Christmas.
Next, we're gonna make these super wonderfully scented ornaments. They're cinnamon dough and they're botanical. So basically what we need here is unsweetened applesauce, a whole bunch of cinnamon, some greenery, plastic straws, wax paper and a cookie sheet, a rolling pin, and also the surprise ingredient, white glue. So you're gonna start with 1 whole cup of cinnamon. I know, it's a lot. And then we need 2/3 of a cup of unsweetened applesauce. This is homemade applesauce we made this year. And then about 2 tablespoons of white glue. I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be exact. So you're going to stir this together and it's going to seem very dry, but just keep working at it. You can work away at it with your hands until it forms a nice dough. Then sprinkle your wax paper with cinnamon just like you would flour if you were rolling out a pie dough. So I was covering my rolling pin with cinnamon as well, and get it to the point where it's about, 1/3 to a 1/2 inch thick, the dough. And now we're gonna press in our botanicals or our greenery. So I have here some cedar and some spruce that I've clipped from our bushes in the backyard. Press them in, and then really to get that indent, you want to use your rolling pin to press in so that the leaves really make a nice imprint.
But I'll be home for you. I'll be home for you.
Look how pretty that is, eh? And then just take a little cup or a round cookie cutter, cut out your circles around each leaf imprint. And the straw is for making a hole in them before you dry them out so that you have something to thread a string through for hanging.
Make me wish you were here.
Gently lift these out and put them onto a cookie sheet. I had enough dough that I could do about 10 ornaments from this. And we're going to put them on the oven very low, about 200 for about 2 hours. You can also use a food dehydrator if you have one on hand. I don't, I just use my oven. The scent lasts for days. I am telling you, these are so wonderful. It smells like Christmas morning. And then decorate them by putting a piece of yarn through or twine, maybe some greenery. It just makes a really nice hanging ornament for either in your tree or on doorknobs. So let's use up some old Christmas cards, shall we? Instead of putting them in the garbage, let's make some ornaments. So I'm just cutting the design fronts off the front. This is a great craft to do if you've got kids in your life. It's really simple, they would enjoy it. So bend that craft card in half, trace a simple triangular tree onto it and cut it out. You can see here the shape it made, and then you're going to use this as your tracer to do another one. And in the end, I want 5 or 6. Here we go. I've got all my trees made. Now just take some white glue and you're going to glue the edges together, fold them all, and it does make kind of a 3D Christmas tree shape. Once you have that done, you'll notice that you're left with 2 ends, so glue those 2 ends that are left over together. And then I'm just using a hot glue gun to add in my string as a topper. This is a great way also to keep on hand sentimental items. If you're a sentimental person and don't want to throw out your Christmas cards, this is a way to reuse them. You can either display them or put them on a tree. Now we're going to be making some fruit garlands for my trees in the backyard. Borrowing from Lorelei on the Gilmore Girls, if you're from the north, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you can just smell that snow is on the way. It's definitely in the forecast for today. You can tell by the clouds racing across the sky and the bite in the air that it is coming, and I'm so excited to be out here decorating my trees with fruit garland. I'm gonna make a dried citrus garland out of lemons, oranges, blood oranges and regular, and ruby red grapefruit. So you're going to take your fruit and you're gonna slice off the edges so that you get like kind of in the center a lot of the colorful fleshy part. And you're just going to slice up all your fruit very thin.
Move on and try and forget. But this is not enough. magic love saga, the dice in the end. The letter.
One of the best parts about this project is you do not need a fancy food dehydrator. If you have an oven or even a toaster oven, you can totally do this. I'm spreading out all of the chopped fruit on cookie sheets. Now, you guys do not need to make obviously as much as I did. I'm making 2 huge garlands with these, so you can see how much I have spread out. Now go around with a paper towel or a cloth and try to dab all the excess liquid off of your fruit slices. I set my oven for 210 on convection roast for about 3 hours. You need to gauge by your oven. Mine did end up taking a little longer when I checked them, closer to 4 hours, but you could always turn it up to about 225 if you'd like, so just keep an eye on them. And here's what the finished product looks like. Look at all those beautiful fall colors. Orange, merlot, yellow, red. I'm using some extra yarn I had around home. That's a really nice burnt orange color. And the key here is to put your needle in and out. It's like a big darning needle I'm using, so that your fruit lays flat sideways like this. So I'm just gonna go through all of my fruit and make some big garlands. There's just something so gorgeous and beautiful about using elements from nature in your decor, and I absolutely love how these look outside on our trees. Another great decoration we like to hang outside are birdseed ornaments, and it helps feed the birds during our harsh Canadian winters. We make these as an entire family. You can make wreaths or hanging ornaments, and basically the recipe is 1/2 cup of water, 3/4 cup of flour, 4 cups of birdseed, and 3 tablespoons of corn syrup. And you're just going to mix it all together, press them into cookie cutters or into bundt pans, and use straws as the holes for where you're going to hang your string through. And it's just a really fun family project, and it looks really festive and pretty in your yard. Do you see what's out the door behind me? You guys, my inner Lorelai Gilmore was completely correct. It is snowing, yay! Is it weird that a grown woman gets this excited about snow? I don't know, and I don't care. All right, back to decorating. Moving back inside, this chalkboard is like the gift that keeps on giving. I bought it for $20 10 years ago, and we change the sign about 4 times a year. So I've gotten 40 different signs for $20. Basically, I just look on Pinterest to change this sign. I am not an artist by any means, but I can copy other people. So if you're looking for a good sustainable decoration item, invest in a chalkboard. Okay, now we're gonna make these really cute place card holders for Christmas dinner. They're made of birch and little pine cones. So I just have this birch branch that came off of a tree nearby. Simply cut it up with a saw or whatever you have on hand to cut that branch up. And we had so many little pine cones in our tree this year. They say the more pine cones you have, the harsher the winter will be. We'll see how that ends up playing out this year in Ontario. But basically you're going to take your little pieces of birch and a hot glue gun, and you're going to put your tiny pine cones on there and put them enough width apart that there's a teeny bit of space between them to put your name tag or place card holder. And then for our place cards, use the back of old Christmas cards. If you don't have cardstock at home, this is just something that is really nice, heavy paper, and I used the fronts for our Christmas tree ornaments, so I'm going to use the backs for our place cards. I think my family probably sometimes thinks it's funny that I like to actually have assigned seating at certain meals, but I think it just avoids a lot of confusion, and when you mix it up every year, then you get a chance to sit beside maybe people you don't normally sit beside, and it helps the conversation flow. It's also nice, you know, if parents with young children can sit near each other, so I think just having a seating plan gets rid of some of that stress that can happen at family meals. You can place it on top of a plate on a cedar bowl like I did, or you can definitely move them and have them next to a cup at the place setting, wherever you want to set them. I just think they're so cute and free items from nature. All right, now we're going to make these homemade flocked pine cones that just look like they're covered in snow. Did you guys know that flocking that you can buy at the store, I mean, it is full of toxic chemicals in an aerosol can. At one time, fake snow was made out of asbestos, which is cancer causing. Anyway, you want to mix water and flour about 1:1. So I have about 1 cup of water, 1 cup of flour. Add that water a bit at a time until you have something that kind of resembles a really thick pancake batter. Then take your pine cone and dip it in the flour water paste. You might get your hands a little messy here. And then you're going to roll it in table salt, and that will give that kind of glistening glitter that looks like frosty snow. Now you're going to want to have these dry overnight. And then I like to set these snow-covered pine cones in arrangements, greenery, or maybe you want to hang them all from a chandelier to have kind of a beautiful wintry look. Whatever you do, it's going to look beautiful. Okay, now we are making one of my favorites for this video, which are music-themed candle holders. You can see here, mine says joy. You can do different shapes. Noel would be beautiful in this case. I'm using mason jars, but you could use any jars. I also have greenery, twine, and an old music book from a choir I was in as a teenager. So you might have some old music books kicking around that are just sitting on the shelves, but they have sentimental value, so you don't want to get rid of them. This is a great way to remember those songs you sang. So I'm just trimming up the music so that it fits about around the outside of each jar. You can find old music books at secondhand stores or Goodwill as well. So fold it in half and draw your shape that you want in the middle of the jar. In this case, I'm going to start with the star. And here you can see my letters. And then you're going to want to glue them onto the jars. Pretty easy. And finish by wrapping with your twine in a bow and then tucking some greenery into it as well. wanted to show you guys how you can use all sorts of different candles. I have a battery powered LED in my star jar, but I also used colored votives, tea lights, so you can see that you can pretty much use anything inside of them and they're still gonna look great. So was there an idea here you've never tried before and would like to? Let me know which one is on your crafting list this year. Or if you have other ideas for sustainable Christmas ornaments that I did not mention, please tell us about them in the comments below. Share them with all of us. We'd love to hear from you. And I think it would be so fun if you could tag me on Instagram at Jenn Least if you make any of these and show me a picture of it. Let's just inspire each other to be good to our planet this Christmas and to get in that Christmas spirit. I hope you're subscribed and have your bell notifications on so that we can keep enjoying the season together in the coming weeks. For The Least, this is Jenn.
Riding through the winter night, thinking of my own